Good morning, everyone. My name is Roy Messing. I'm the director of the OEOC. I am glad that you've chosen to join us to celebrate employee ownership in Ohio and beyond today. If you are new to the employee ownership world, you'll have ample opportunity to really see this community at work today. This morning, Victor Aspringen from Prairie Capital Advisors, as well as a previous owner in 2 employee-owned companies, will discuss expanding opportunities in employee ownerships in those companies. And knowing Victor, he'll probably go a little beyond that. So, at our luncheon session, we'll have our annual awards presentations. We'll highlight 4 Ohio employee-owned companies who exemplify what it is to be an employee owner. We'll also award 7 employee-owned companies that are celebrating milestone years. Throughout the course of the day, you will hear about how to work through all those issues that you have when you're considering employee ownership, and how to engage existing employees and others to really understand this as a business opportunity for you. The success of employee-owned companies doesn't happen without combining just the employee ownership, but also bringing the culture into play and really leveraging that to make the most of the opportunity. In comparison with non-ESOP companies, ESOP companies have a participatory culture which generates higher wages. Employees tend to have more money in their retirement accounts, not just the ESOP, but other accounts. Creates higher job productivity, and there's noted improvement in return on investment. On an annual basis, this really adds up for you, the participant, especially if you've been in the ESOP for 20 or plus years. The growth in employee ownership companies did not magically happen just because employees became owners. Employee-owned businesses are like their conventionally owned partners. They can become successful by carefully planning, preparing, staffing, and engaging the employees in properly executing these plans. The vast amount of resources that we have today, from the folks in the room and various sessions that we've lined up for you, can really help you assist in figuring out what do I need to do to be successful in my employee-owned company if that's something you choose to do. So please take advantage of this conference. It's the largest statewide conference of its kind. Today, I think our attendance is just right about 350 or a little over that, so it's a real good turnout for us. So there's a lot of people here who you could talk to and figure out what you need to do. A conference of this type doesn't become successful because it becomes successful because of all the wide range of support that we have. It's not just the Ohio Employee Ownership Center, but others who help us with this. I want to express our appreciation and support for the professional firms whose ongoing sponsorship and ads for this conference keep the cost of the conference down, keep it manageable for you and the employee-owned companies. I also want to thank those who participate in our panel sessions to deliver the educational content that you all will be able to take away from here. Special appreciation also goes out to a few folks this morning for sponsoring specific items. I'd like to ask those individuals to stand when they're named. Tom Potts, Nick Agresta, Fiduciary Trust Services, for sponsoring our pens at the conference session today. Tom and Nick. Oh, back there. And as well, Phil D. Dominicus of Mankey Associates for sponsoring the coffee break later this afternoon. Phil's actually not in the room. Last year he got married the day after our conference, so he's probably celebrating his anniversary. So I guess we'll let him go for that as well. But 3 years in a row, we're not going to let that happen. Our professional members provide a great deal of support for our annual conference. In fact, check the program ads for all the service providers. Throughout the program, if you flip through, there's a lot of great information there. And as well, stop at their booths at the back of the room and really learn what they can help you with. We have a keynote speaker this morning, as mentioned, a luncheon program. We have speakers or presenters at 20 breakout sessions in the morning and the afternoon. These speakers are from ESOP companies, worker-owned cooperatives, economic development agencies, government agencies, and service provider firms. This conference will be a success largely due to those folks who are providing this programming. And each and every one of them is a volunteer. To the speakers and presenters, thank you for your time and everything that you do. We appreciate your involvement in our conference and making it a success. Let me call attention to a few things in the conference program. The hotel map is on page 5. And for those of you who have come here in the past, a good announcement. We are not having, all the sessions will be here in this building. We're not having any over at the DoubleTree. So we've changed our format a little bit, and we're hoping that we don't have the confusion of going back and forth between the two hotels. As well, in the past we've had 3 1.5-hour sessions. This year we changed that to 4 1-hour sessions. So we think we'll be able to offer a little wider variety of content in a little more focused format. So let us know how you like that. Please make sure to complete and return those surveys that are inserted in your program. That really helps us determine, what we're going to do for next year's conference. Please provide that to us because it's really there for your help, for your purposes down the road. Draw the right thing. A video station. One of the things we're going to do this year as well, and it's right outside the hall as you would depart to go to the sessions. We have a video camera set up there. We'd like to get your comments on today's sessions, employee ownership, anything that you would like, but we're just going to try to capture that. And this might be something that we'll have on our website down the road. So we're looking forward to capturing that today. As well, if you have a little blue tag in your name tag, just come and see me sometime this morning. I just want to chat with you for a few minutes on something. There's only a few people. There's only about 20 people have that. So, staff introductions. What we'd like to do is really thank the staff of the OEOC. I know the politicians mentioned my name. I cannot take all the credit. I probably can't even take a quarter of the credit for what happens here today. We have a great staff that supports what we do. First is Chris Cooper. He's our program coordinator. Chris was up operating the video. Chris is pretty much a jack of all trades. He really directs a lot of our content for our employee-owned education and training programs. Kelly Fitz, our office administrator. She's the center of communications, registrations, making arrangements for the conference in the rooms, as well as putting together everything as far as our meal plan and everything. Kelly does an excellent job. You may also notice a few familiar faces in the crowd. Longtime staffers Bill McIntyre and Steve Clem came out of retirement today to lend a hand to make the conference a success. So what I'd like you to do is give a loud round of applause for the OEOC support staff. I'd like to announce who's at the head table. Today we have, to my far right, Rick Rebido. He's with the Greater Akron Chamber and as well an advisory board member. You've met Leah Jones and Victor Aspergen, who's with Prairie Capital, who'll be our keynote speaker, so you'll hear more from him soon. And Rachel Mikatin with the Greater Dayton Union Cooperative Initiative. They're trying to do some interesting things down there, working with employee-owned companies. It's always interesting to see who's in the crowd. As I mentioned, we have a little over 350 attendants today, so we're very pleased and thank you for coming out. We have folks from 16 states and Washington, D.C., so we are a state conference. We really do draw from quite a range. With smaller groups, we like to do introductions. We go through and have everybody introduce themselves, but it's just too big a crowd to do that. The next best thing is to give you a sense of who's in the room. We have about a dozen people who are attending, maybe a little more in the last few days. probably about 15 people who are attending who are really exploring the opportunity of employee ownership in one form or another. And so for those folks who are in the crowd, get to work the crowd a little bit. Get your questions answered. There's a lot of talent, a lot of experience. So reach out today. It's a great opportunity for you to find out answers to those questions that you have. But on other groups, let's look at the professional service providers. We had the names of the professional service providers scrolling up earlier, but we have a wide range of those folks. There's over 100 professionals here today from over 50 firms, and they have a wide range of experience and expertise. There's ESOP and co-op attorneys, valuation advisors, bankers, investment bankers, financial advisors, folks who work in the organizational development range, ESOP trustees, accountants, and ESOP administrators. And they really provide the backbone of the support that the ESOP companies need. So if you were one of those in that category, would you please stand? Are you a professional service provider? Please stand. Thank you. Thank you for coming out and supporting us. Employee-owned companies have several hurdles and obstacles to deal with. I was thinking about even the changes in the tax laws, a whole new implication for all the CFOs of the company. But there's professionals in the crowd who can help you with those. They can help you get through those issues. Reach out to them and get your answers to your questions. And let's see. The next group that I would like to recognize, there are over 180 employee owners in the room from over 50 employee-owned companies. Many are members of our employee-owned network that you have seen scrolling earlier. If that group could stand, and we'd like to recognize you and thank you for coming out in such a great force today. You're going to stand more. Couple more words about the conference. After this morning's general session, there will be 5 breakout sessions. Again, find your way to the hall. Look to page 1 through 4 in your conference program. It has all the details on those sessions. Take a few minutes before you leave to pick out those sessions that you think would be most appropriate for you. You can always feel free to ask somebody from the OEOC if you're trying to find a little more specific information, or you probably almost ask anybody and they can help guide you. But don't be shy to ask questions at those panels or throughout the day. It's really a great opportunity with all the folks around you to get those answers, at least start getting you down to the path that you need. Excited about the program that we have put together for you today. I think many of you find it stimulating, educational, and there's nothing wrong with having a little fun as well. So enjoy yourselves.